Meghan still has not established an identity of her own.
Meghan Markle has come under fire. Prince Philip, he allegedly gave Prince Harry a warning about getting married to Meghan Markle.
Have you ever noticed how some royal controversies simply refuse to disappear? Just when the headlines begin to fade, a new interview, a best-selling book, or a viral online discussion pulls everyone back into the same debate. This time, the names at the center of the conversation are Prince Harry, investigative author Tom Bower, and royal commentator Lady Colin Campbell. Social media has been flooded with sensational claims and dramatic headlines, but behind all the noise lies a far more fascinating story, one about competing narratives, public perception, best-selling books, legal battles, and a prince who has spent years trying to tell his own version of events while others continue telling theirs. The question isn't simply who's right or who's wrong. It's why the world remains so captivated by every chapter of Harry's journey, even years after he stepped away from royal life. Welcome back to Crown Kingdom, your home for compelling royal stories, historic moments, and the truth behind the headlines. If you're passionate about the British royal family and want balanced, engaging coverage of the stories everyone is talking about, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe and join us as we explore another remarkable chapter in one of the world's most talked about royal sagas. Few members of the modern royal family have attracted as much global attention as Prince Harry. Once known simply as the cheerful younger son of King Charles III and the late Diana, Princess of Wales, Harry has transformed into one of the most discussed public figures anywhere in the world. Every speech he gives, every interview he sits for, every lawsuit he files, and every project he launches generates headlines across continents. Supporters admire his willingness to challenge long-standing traditions and openly discuss issues such as mental health, grief, and media intrusion. Critics argue that his repeated public statements have deepened divisions within his own family while keeping deeply personal disputes in the international spotlight. Whatever perspective people hold, one fact is impossible to deny: Harry has become a central figure in one of the most closely followed royal stories of the 21st century. That attention intensified dramatically after Harry and Meghan announced in January 2020 that they intended to step back from their roles as senior working royals. The decision surprised the public and reportedly caught many within the royal family off guard. What followed became known around the world as Megxit, a period marked by negotiations, public statements, and intense media scrutiny. Eventually, the couple relocated to California, where they began building a new life outside the formal structure of the monarchy while pursuing commercial partnerships in media, publishing, and charitable work. Instead of stepping away from the spotlight, Harry and Meghan entered a different one. Their interview with Oprah Winfrey became one of the most watched television events in recent history. The conversation included deeply personal reflections on their experiences within the royal family, discussions about mental health, and allegations that prompted widespread international debate. Buckingham Palace responded with a carefully worded statement acknowledging that while some recollections might differ, the issues raised would be addressed privately. Even that brief response became a major news story, demonstrating how every development surrounding the Sussexes had become global news. The conversation continued with the release of the Netflix documentary series Harry-Meghan. Through personal photographs, private video footage, and extensive interviews, the couple presented their perspective on events that had shaped their relationship with both the royal family and the British media. Millions watched the series within days of its release, making it one of Netflix's most talked about documentaries. Supporters viewed it as an opportunity for Harry and Meghan to explain themselves directly. Others questioned whether continuing to discuss private family matters publicly contradicted their stated desire for greater privacy. The debate was immediate and intense, further proving that public interest in the Sussexes had hardly diminished. Then came Spare. Harry's memoir became one of the fastest-selling non-fiction books ever published. Within its pages, he described childhood memories, military service, personal struggles, and difficult relationships within the royal family. One of the book's most widely discussed passages described a physical confrontation between Harry and his older brother, Prince William. Other chapters reflected on his relationship with his father, King Charles III, and his complicated feelings toward Queen Camilla. The memoir generated worldwide headlines, with some readers praising Harry's honesty while others criticized him for revealing deeply personal family conversations. Regardless of opinion, the book reinforced Harry's determination to present his own version of events rather than allowing others to define his story. But Harry's memoir was far from the only account competing for public attention. Over the years, numerous authors have written books examining the modern monarchy, and among the most prominent is Tom Bower. Unlike Harry, Bower approaches the story from the perspective of an investigative biographer. Throughout his career, he has written extensively about politicians, business leaders, celebrities, and public figures, often relying on interviews with people close to his subjects. His writing style is detailed, direct, and frequently controversial, qualities that have earned him both loyal readers and determined critics. When Bower published Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, the book quickly became one of the most discussed royal biographies in years. It examined the couple's rise within the royal family, their departure from official duties, and the relationships that reportedly deteriorated along the way. While many readers appreciated the depth of Bower's research, others questioned the reliance on anonymous sources and challenged several of the book's conclusions. Regardless of where readers stood, the publication became another major milestone in the ongoing public conversation surrounding Harry and Meghan. Alongside Bower stands another familiar voice to royal audiences, Lady Colin Campbell. For decades, she has written books, appeared on television, and built a substantial online following through commentary about the monarchy. Her style differs significantly from Bower's. Where Bower presents himself primarily as an investigative biographer, Lady Colin Campbell often combines historical context, personal observations, and strong opinions. Admirers believe she offers insights that mainstream reporting sometimes overlooks, while critics argue that many of her conclusions should be treated cautiously. Even so, her influence within royal commentary remains significant, ensuring that whenever she speaks about the royal family, people listen. What makes this ongoing debate so remarkable is that it is no longer confined to newspapers or television broadcasts. Social media has fundamentally transformed how royal stories unfold. A short video clip, an excerpt from a book, or even a single sentence from an interview can spread across platforms within minutes, reaching millions of viewers before traditional news organizations have even responded. Context is often lost along the way, and speculation can sometimes travel faster than confirmed information. As a result, distinguishing between verified facts, personal opinions, and online rumors has become increasingly difficult for ordinary viewers trying to understand what's really happening. Prince Harry has repeatedly emphasized that misinformation and intrusive media coverage have shaped much of his adult life. Those concerns are not merely rhetorical. In recent years, he has pursued multiple legal cases against British newspaper publishers, arguing that unlawful information gathering and other practices violated his privacy. Some of those legal actions resulted in significant victories, including settlements and court findings that reinforced concerns about historical media practices. Harry has described these legal battles as part of a broader effort to hold powerful institutions accountable, while critics argue that his simultaneous participation in documentaries, interviews, and memoirs creates a complicated relationship with public attention. This tension between privacy and publicity lies at the heart of nearly every discussion involving the Duke of Sussex. On one hand, Harry has consistently spoken about protecting his family from relentless media scrutiny, often connecting those concerns to the tragic death of his mother, Princess Diana. On the other hand, his decision to share intimate family experiences through books, streaming platforms, and televised interviews has ensured that public interest remains exceptionally high. Whether viewed as transparency or contradiction, the result is the same: every new development involving Harry immediately becomes international news. It is within this environment that authors like Tom Bower and commentators like Lady Colin Campbell continue to attract enormous attention. Their books and broadcasts become part of a much larger conversation involving journalists, historians, legal experts, royal correspondents, and millions of ordinary viewers. Some audiences see them as valuable contributors offering alternative perspectives. Others believe their work should always be weighed carefully against publicly verified evidence. Either way, they have become established voices in one of the most intensely scrutinized stories of modern times. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this entire saga is that no single person controls the narrative anymore. Harry has his memoir. Meghan has her public speeches and interviews. Buckingham Palace communicates sparingly through official statements. Journalists publish investigations. Biographers release books. Commentators offer analysis. Social media users create endless theories, reactions, and debates. Every participant believes they are helping explain the story, yet together they have created one of the most complex and emotionally charged public conversations in recent royal history. And as new books, interviews, legal developments, and public appearances continue to emerge, one thing becomes increasingly clear: this story is far from over. If anything, each new chapter raises even bigger questions about trust, reputation, and the lasting impact of public storytelling. And the next development would once again place Prince Harry at the center of an international conversation that shows no sign of ending. As the years have passed, one reality has become impossible to ignore. The story surrounding Prince Harry is no longer just about a prince who stepped away from royal duties. It has evolved into a case study in how reputation is shaped in the modern media age. Every interview, every documentary, every memoir, every court ruling, and every new publication adds another layer to a narrative that millions of people continue to follow with extraordinary interest. It is precisely this environment that keeps authors, commentators, journalists, and audiences returning to the same central question: how will history ultimately remember Prince Harry? One of the reasons this debate continues is because the royal family itself rarely participates in it publicly. Buckingham Palace has traditionally followed the philosophy of never allowing every accusation or criticism to become a public argument. Official statements are usually brief, carefully worded, and released only when absolutely necessary. That strategy has served the monarchy for generations, but in today's digital world, silence often creates its own headlines. Whenever the palace chooses not to respond, social media quickly fills the vacuum with endless interpretations. Some view the silence as dignity and restraint. Others see it as missed opportunities to correct the record. Either way, the discussion grows louder. For Harry, however, remaining silent has never seemed like the preferred approach. Throughout the last several years, he has repeatedly chosen to speak directly to the public through interviews, documentaries, speeches, and books. In doing so, he has attempted to explain not only what happened inside the royal family but also how those experiences affected him personally. His willingness to discuss grief, trauma, military service, and mental health has earned praise from many organizations and supporters who believe public figures should speak openly about such issues. Mental health advocacy, in particular, has become one of Harry's defining causes. Long before leaving royal duties, he worked alongside Prince William and Catherine on campaigns encouraging people to seek help and speak openly about emotional struggles. Even after relocating to the United States, Harry continued supporting organizations focused on veterans, psychological well-being, and community resilience. Regardless of opinions surrounding his relationship with the monarchy, these efforts remain an important part of his public identity. At the same time, critics argue that Harry's continued criticism of royal life has made reconciliation with his family increasingly difficult. Reports of strained relationships with King Charles III and Prince William have dominated newspaper front pages for years. While neither side discusses private conversations publicly, observers continue searching for signs that bridges might eventually be rebuilt. Every royal event becomes an opportunity for photographers and commentators to analyze body language, seating arrangements, and even brief exchanges in hopes of discovering whether progress has been made. King Charles III has faced his own challenges since ascending the throne. Balancing constitutional responsibilities while navigating deeply personal family tensions has placed him under extraordinary public scrutiny. Throughout this period, the king has largely focused on his official duties, state visits, charitable initiatives, and environmental causes that have defined much of his public life. Palace officials have consistently emphasized continuity and stability, seeking to ensure that family disagreements do not overshadow the broader work of the monarchy. Prince William has similarly concentrated on his role as heir to the throne. Through projects addressing homelessness, mental health, environmental conservation, and early childhood development alongside Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales have sought to maintain public attention on long-term initiatives rather than family disputes. Even so, comparisons between the two brothers remain constant. Every public appearance invites fresh commentary about whether reconciliation appears closer or further away. Against this backdrop, commentators such as Tom Bower and Lady Colin Campbell continue offering their own interpretations of events. Their books and discussions often receive widespread media attention because public interest in the Sussexes remains exceptionally high. Yet it is important to recognize that authors and commentators provide perspectives rather than official findings. Their work contributes to public debate, but it exists alongside many other voices, including journalists, historians, legal experts, and Harry himself. Perhaps the greatest lesson from this continuing story is how dramatically information now spreads. A single interview clip can reach millions of viewers within hours. A passage from a book can become a trending topic before most people have even read the surrounding chapter. Headlines often travel farther than context, leaving audiences to separate verified reporting from opinion, speculation, and online rumor. In that environment, critical thinking becomes more valuable than ever. The public fascination with the Sussexes also reflects something much broader than one family's disagreements. For decades, the British royal family has occupied a unique position at the intersection of history, tradition, celebrity, and public service. Every generation experiences moments that redefine how the monarchy is viewed, from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II to the transformation now taking place under King Charles III. Harry's departure represents one of those defining moments, ensuring that historians will continue examining its causes and consequences for years to come. Despite countless headlines predicting permanent divisions or dramatic turning points, the future remains uncertain. Families, even highly visible ones, often experience periods of conflict followed by reconciliation. Whether such healing eventually occurs between Harry and senior members of the royal family remains known only to those directly involved. Public observers may speculate, but genuine family relationships are rarely as simple as newspaper headlines suggest. What is certain is that Harry continues shaping his own path. Through the Invictus Games, charitable foundations, speaking engagements, and media projects, he has built a life distinct from the formal responsibilities he once carried as a senior working royal. Meghan has similarly pursued projects centered on media, philanthropy, and entrepreneurship. Together they remain among the most recognized couples in the world, ensuring that public interest in their activities is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Meanwhile, Tom Bower continues writing investigative biographies, and Lady Colin Campbell remains one of the most recognizable commentators covering royal affairs. Their contributions ensure that discussions surrounding the House of Windsor remain lively, even when official information is limited. Readers are free to evaluate their arguments, compare them with publicly available evidence, and form their own conclusions. Ultimately, this entire story demonstrates how powerful competing narratives have become in the digital era. Harry tells his story. The palace tells another through its actions and official statements. Authors present researched interpretations. Commentators offer opinions. Journalists investigate developments as they unfold. Social media users add countless voices of their own. Somewhere within that vast conversation lies the challenge facing every modern audience to distinguish established facts from personal viewpoints and sensational headlines. History has shown that the royal family has weathered crises before, from abdications and scandals to public criticism and changing expectations. Each generation has faced moments when commentators predicted lasting damage, only for history to produce outcomes few anticipated. Whether the current divisions eventually soften or remain part of the historical record is something only time will reveal. Until then, Prince Harry's journey remains one of the most compelling stories in modern royal history, not because every headline is true, but because it illustrates the extraordinary pressures faced by public figures living under constant global scrutiny. It is a story of family, duty, identity, media influence, public perception, and the ongoing struggle to control one's own narrative in an age where everyone has a platform and every opinion can become tomorrow's headline. And perhaps that is the biggest takeaway of all. Beyond the books, documentaries, interviews, and debates, the world continues watching because this is more than a royal story. It is a human story about relationships, responsibility, forgiveness, and the lasting consequences of choices made under the brightest spotlight imaginable. Thank you for joining us on Crown Kingdom. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into one of the royal family's most talked about stories, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest royal updates, historical features, and exclusive discussions. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe time can heal the divisions within the royal family, or has this chapter changed the monarchy forever? Until next time, thanks for watching Crown Kingdom, where history meets the headlines.